October baseball is finally here. The regular season's grind is behind us, and now every pitch feels like it carries the weight of a year's work. One mistake can end a season. One swing can launch a team into history. And today, in the American League Wild Card, we get a classic Midwest clash: the Cleveland Guardians hosting the Detroit Tigers. Two young, hungry squads looking to prove they belong among the league's elite. The beauty of this matchup is that both teams are built so differently. One thrives on contact and bullpen dominance, the other leans on raw power and an emerging ace. This isn't just a game. It's a contrast of baseball philosophies, and it's the kind of chess match bettors dream about. Let's start on the mound, because that's where this wild card battle will be defined. Cleveland sends Tanner Bibee, their breakout right-hander, to open the series. His rookie season turned heads across the league, not just because of his traditional 3.32 ERA, but because the underlying metrics suggest it's real. Bibee's 3.40 FIP and 3.55 ERA are nearly identical, proving there's no smoke and mirrors here. He strikes out over a quarter of batters faced, 25.4% K rate, while limiting free passes, 7.1% BB rate. That kind of 18% KBB percent puts him in the top 25 among qualified starters. More importantly for this matchup, his slider is a weapon, generating nearly a 39% whiff rate, and when paired with his fastball command, it neutralizes right-handed power bats. Detroit's lineup, led by Spencer Torkelson and Kerry Carpenter, thrives on punishing mistakes over the plate, but Bibee simply doesn't allow many. His .299 xWOBA allowed shows that even when hitters make contact, it's often weak. Add in a ground ball rate hovering near 44%, and Progressive Field's neutral power environment plays right into his skill set. For Detroit, it's their ace, Tarik Skubal, who's set to counter. And if you've been tracking advanced metrics all season, you know Skubal is no longer a promising arm, he's already elite. His 2.74 ERA is shiny, but what makes it elite is the backing data: 2.90 FIP, 2.85 ERA, and an eye-popping 30.7% strikeout rate. Opponents manage just a .267 xWOBA against him, placing him among the top tier of starters in the game. His changeup has been nearly unhittable, limiting righties to a sub-.200 average, while his fastball continues to climb into the upper 90s even deep into starts. Against a Cleveland team that rarely strikes out, their team K rate of 19.7% is the lowest in the league. This is the classic unstoppable force versus immovable object showdown. Does Skubal's swing and miss arsenal overpower Cleveland's contact-oriented bats, or do the Guardians grind him down with long at-bats and weak contact? That's the razor-thin margin this game could hinge on. When you shift to the bullpens, the scales tilt in Cleveland's favor. The Guardians' pen has been their backbone for years, and 2025 is no exception. A 3.31 bullpen era, with a 3.45 FIP, and the dominance of Emmanuel Clase at the back end make it the kind of relief core built for October. Clase's 99 miles per hour cutter paired with his ridiculous command, a 4.5% walk rate, means if Cleveland has a lead after the 7th inning, it's almost lights out. Surrounding him are lefty Sam Henges, who neutralizes left-handed bats with a .275 xWOBA allowed, and James Karinchak, who still carries a 30% plus strikeout rate despite bouts of wildness. Detroit's bullpen, meanwhile, has been their Achilles heel. A 4.27 ERA with a 4.45 FIP speaks to their inconsistency, and outside of Jason Foley's elite sinker, generating a 61% ground ball rate, this group struggles in high-leverage spots. For bettors, this is critical. In a tight playoff matchup, one bad bullpen inning can swing both the moneyline and the total. Offensively, Cleveland and Detroit couldn't be more different. The Guardians finished with one of the lowest team ISOs in the league at .139, but they make up for it with relentless contact and situational hitting. Jose Ramirez remains their offensive anchor, posting a 134 WRC+, .360 xWOBA, and a mere 12% strikeout rate. He's the rare star who can both extend at bats and punish mistakes with power. Around him, Josh Naylor provides left-handed thump. His 10.7% barrel rate suggests he's the most likely Guardian to go deep in this series. Andres Jimenez adds speed and bat-to-ball skills, while rookie Brian Rocchio has quietly emerged as a spark plug with a .331 OBP since the All-Star break. Cleveland doesn't scare you with home run totals, but they excel at grinding out arms and creating chaos with runners in motion. The Tigers' offense is much more boom or bust, but the boom is real. Spencer Torkelson, after a sluggish first half, erupted post-All-Star break with a .520 slugging percentage and 14 home runs, proving he's the power bat Detroit has been waiting for. Kerry Carpenter adds balance from the left side with a 46% hard hit rate and a .366 xWOBA, making him the perfect complement. Riley Green brings on-base ability with an 11% walk rate, and young bats like Colt Keith have shown flashes of slugging potential. The issue: Detroit's 24.1% team strikeout rate is exploitable, especially against pitchers like Bibee who thrive on sliders and off-speed deception. If Bibee can keep Torkelson in the yard and get chases from the bottom of the order, Cleveland's pitching advantage grows even larger. Now, let's dig into the park factors at Progressive Field. This park plays nearly neutral overall, park factor of 99, but it suppresses home runs to center and right center while giving left-handed pull hitters a slight boost. That means bats like Naylor and Carpenter have the most favorable conditions tonight. Weather projections show cooler October temperatures in the low 60s, which historically suppress run scoring by about 5–7% compared to summer averages. Add in 2 frontline starters, and you have a recipe for an under-friendly game script. From a betting market perspective, expect Cleveland to open as a small home favorite around -120 to -125, with Detroit priced around even money. The total should sit at 7 runs, maybe even 7.5 depending on market perception of these offenses. The first 5 innings under F5 under 3.5 is particularly appealing given both Bibee and Skubal's ability to dominate early. On the prop side, Tariq Skubal's strikeout line will likely be set around 6.5 kiloseconds, and while Cleveland doesn't fan much, his stuff is good enough to push the over if he goes 6 strong innings. Bibee's K line should fall in the 4.5–5.5 range, and against a Tigers lineup with swing and miss tendencies, the over looks enticing. For home run props, Jose Ramirez and Kerry Carpenter stand out as the best plus money targets. For total bases props, Josh Naylor at 1.5 TBs offers sneaky value given his matchup against Skubal's fastball first approach. If you're building same-game parlays, here's a sharp construction. F5 under 3.5 runs. Skubal 6+ strikeouts. Jose Ramirez 1+ hit or 2+ total bases. Guardians to win by 1 to 3 runs, winning margin prop. This parlay leverages the expectation of a low-scoring, strikeout-heavy contest decided by a razor-thin margin. It also captures the bullpen edge Cleveland holds, because if the Guardians enter the late innings tied or with a lead, the odds swing heavily in their favor. So how does this all end? Detroit has the frontline ace who can overpower anyone, but Cleveland has the balance across pitching, bullpen depth, and disciplined at-bats that tends to win playoff baseball. The Tigers' rise is real, and Torkelson could absolutely swing this game with one blast, but in October, depth and bullpen trust usually carry the day. Final prediction: Guardians 3, Tigers 2. Expect a tense, grind-it-out game where every base runner feels like gold. The stage is set for October baseball, and few matchups carry the same combination of star power, pressure, and tactical intrigue as the National League Wild Card showdown between the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres. One game, win or go home. It doesn't get much bigger than this. When you break down the numbers, the narratives, and the betting markets, this clash feels less like a coin flip and more like a battle of strengths where the tiniest details could decide everything. Let's dive into the numbers, the matchups, and the angles that matter most for bettors and fans alike. On the mound, the Cubs are expected to hand the ball to Justin Steele, their ace who has carried this rotation all season. Steele's arsenal doesn't light up radar guns the way some postseason flamethrowers do, but his craft, command, and ability to limit hard contact make him the definition of reliable. Across the season, Steele posted a 2.95 ERA with an ERA of 3.32, meaning his performance wasn't a fluke. His FIP of 3.21 shows the peripherals back up the success, and when you dig deeper into contact quality, his barrel rate allowed sits under 6%, a top 20 mark among qualified starters. The key for Steele will be handling San Diego's right-handed power bats. He's held righties to just a .297 WOBA this season, thanks to his ability to paint the outside corner with his sinker and then tunnel his slider off it. However, his strikeout rate, 23%, isn't overpowering, and the Padres lineup doesn't chase much, so every two-strike pitch will matter. For the Padres, Joe Musgrove gets the nod, and if anyone has October credibility, it's him. Musgrove thrives in these high-stakes environments, as Cubs fans will remember from his brilliant postseason outings in the past. Statistically, Musgrove is as steady as they come. 3.11 ERA, 3.35 ZERA, 3.20 FIP, with a 5.7% walk rate that minimizes free passes. His slider and curveball combo has generated a 31% whiff rate, and against a Cubs lineup that can run hot and cold depending on their plate discipline, Musgrove's command is a massive advantage. He's allowed a .294 xWOBA overall, which is excellent, but left-handed power bats have been his weakness. Lefties have slugged .434 against him, giving guys like Cody Bellinger and Ian Happ a chance to flip this game with one swing. The bullpens will be a critical factor, and the numbers reveal a gap. The Cubs' relief corps, while gritty, has been inconsistent under pressure. Their collective 3.93 ERA and 4.12 xFIP rank middle of the pack, and their 10.5% walk rate is a red flag for bettors. Late-inning command lapses are dangerous in October, especially when one mistake can end a season. The Padres, meanwhile, boast one of the best bullpens in baseball. Anchored by Robert Suarez and Josh Hader, San Diego's relief unit has a 3.32 ERA, top 5 in MLB, with a dominant 28% strikeout rate. Their .291 xWOBA allowed shows that even when you square it up, hard contact is rare. If this game is close heading into the 7th, advantage Padres. Lineup analysis adds even more intrigue. The Cubs' offense has been streaky but dangerous, ranking middle tier in ops but with plenty of power potential. Cody Bellinger remains the engine. His .281 average, 26 home runs, .354 WOBA, and 120 WRC+ show that he's fully rebounded from past struggles. Dansby Swanson and Seiya Suzuki provide balance, with Suzuki posting a .350 xWOBA since the All-Star break, one of the most underrated improvements in baseball. The Cubs' ability to grind out at-bats is also key. They own a 9.1% walk rate, putting pressure on opposing pitchers to execute. However, their 24% strikeout rate leaves them vulnerable to a high K pitcher like Musgrove. On the Padres' side, this is still a star-studded lineup that can go nuclear in any game. Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, and Juan Soto all sit above a .340 xWOBA, with Soto in particular being a model of consistency. His 18% walk rate is absurd in today's game, and his .420 OBP sets the table perfectly. Add in Xander Bogaerts and Jake Cronenworth, and you've got a deep lineup that forces pitchers to work from the first pitch to the last. The Padres also rank top 10 in barrel rate, 8.7%, and hard hit rate, 42%, meaning Steele will need to lean heavily on soft contact and ground balls to survive. Petco Park's park factors tilt slightly toward pitchers, especially suppressing home runs to center field, but left-handed pull power plays well here. That could put hitters like Bellinger, Happ, and Soto in prime spots to do damage. The marine layer and cooler October air in San Diego also make long balls less frequent, which could tilt the under slightly, unless both teams' power bats connect early. Now let's pivot to the betting markets. The Padres are slight favorites on the money line, sitting around -130, while the Cubs are +110 underdogs. The run line is Padres -1.5 at +160, suggesting oddsmakers see a tight, one-run type of game. The total is set at 7.5 runs, with slight juice to the under. Given the caliber of starting pitching and the bullpens, the under has appeal, but the danger lies in one big inning or a bullpen meltdown swinging everything. For props, Steele's strikeout line is 5.5, and given the Padres' patient approach, the under feels sharp. He may pitch well, but efficiency, not strikeouts, will be his path. Musgrove's strikeout line is also 5.5, and the Cubs' higher K rate makes the over a more attractive play. For hitters, Cody Bellinger to hit a home run, +425, has value, given Musgrove's vulnerability to left-handed power. On the Padres' side, Juan Soto over 1.5 total bases, -110, feels like a strong angle. His ability to find gaps and punish mistakes is tailor-made for this kind of game. For same-game parlay legs, here's an intriguing build. Musgrove 6+ strikeouts, Soto 2+ total bases, and Padres moneyline. That combination reflects the most likely path to a San Diego win. Their ace outdueling Chicago's, their superstar delivering at the plate, and their bullpen slamming the door. For a Cubs-focused parlay, you might look at Steele over 15.5 outs, Bellinger HR, Cubs +1.5 run line. A narrative where Steele goes deep, the lefty power shows up, and Chicago grinds this into a close win. So what's the final call? This game feels like it will be a nail-biter, with both aces delivering quality starts. The Cubs have the firepower to pull an upset if Bellinger or Suzuki connect, but the Padres' deeper bullpen and higher on-base percentage give them the edge in the late innings. Expect a tense, low-scoring battle, but San Diego's October-tested stars may have just enough to push them through. Prediction: Padres 4, Cubs 3. There's no stage in baseball quite like October, and there's no rivalry in sports quite like the Yankees and the Red Sox. It's a matchup that has defined generations, from the curse of the Bambino to Aaron Boone's walk-off to the epic comeback in 2004. Now, as the calendar flips to October 1st, we find ourselves staring at another edition of this timeless war, but this time with playoff stakes hanging in the balance. It's win or go home in the wild card round, and the numbers tell us this could be another classic chapter in baseball's greatest rivalry. The Yankees come in behind the strength of their ace, Jarrett Cole, who has once again built a Cy Young caliber season. Cole's numbers are elite across the board. A 2.87 ERA, backed by a 3.12 ZERA and a 3.05 FIP, all of which show his dominance is backed by the peripherals. His 32% strikeout rate ranks among the best in the league, and his 5.8% walk rate means he rarely gives away free passes. When batters do make contact, it usually doesn't travel far. Cole has allowed just a 6.1% barrel rate and 8.281 xWOBA, elite marks that put him among the top tier of starters in all of baseball. Against Boston specifically, Cole's ability to dominate with high fastballs and wipeout sliders will be tested. Boston's lineup punishes mistakes up in the zone, especially from the left-handed side. But Cole has shown the ability to step up when the lights are brightest, and that's exactly what the Yankees will need. The Red Sox counter with Brian Bello, the young right-hander who has emerged as their most consistent arm. Bello doesn't overpower hitters like Cole, but his ability to generate ground balls and limit damage has made him Boston's go-to in big games. Bello enters with a 3.68 ERA, but his 4.15 ZERA and 3.94 FIP suggest some overperformance. His strikeout rate sits at 20%, below league average, but he pairs it with a 7.1% walk rate and a 54% ground ball rate, which is among the best in the league. The challenge for Bello will be keeping New York's right-handed sluggers, Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, on the ground. His sinker-slider changeup mix is effective against contact-driven hitters, but judges .420 xWOBA and 16% barrel rate make him the most dangerous hitter in this game by a wide margin. When it comes to the bullpens, the Yankees have a clear edge. Their relief corps has been lights out in 2025, with a 3.21 ERA and 3.55 xFIP, top 3 in all of MLB. They lead the majors in strikeout rate from relievers at 29%, and their .289 xWOBA allowed makes it extremely difficult for opposing lineups to string together rallies late in games. With Clay Holmes, Tommy Kahnle, and Jonathan Loaisiga, New York has multiple late-inning weapons to shorten games. The Red Sox bullpen, by contrast, has been their Achilles heel. They sit with a 4.39 ERA and 4.51 xFIP, both bottom 10 in baseball, and their 11% walk rate has doomed them in close games all year. If this game is decided after the 7th inning, the Yankees hold a massive advantage. Lineup breakdowns only add to the intrigue. The Yankees are a power-heavy team that lives and dies with the long ball, ranking top 5 in MLB in home run rate, 4.3%, and barrel rate, 9.1%. Aaron Judge is the centerpiece, with an MVP-level season. .285 average, 46 home runs, .422 OBP, .430 xWOBA, and 172 WRC+. Giancarlo Stanton has added 32 homers, though his .313 xWOBA suggests he's more boom or bust than in past years. The emergence of Anthony Volpe has given the lineup balance, with his blend of speed and improving plate discipline helping to turn the Yankees into more than just a home run or bust offense. Still, they rank bottom half of the league in strikeout rate at 24.7%, which means Bello's path to success lies in pitching to weak contact and trusting his defense. The Red Sox lineup has been a mix of young talent and veteran presence. Rafael Devers remains the heart of Boston's order, with a .281 average, 34 home runs, .370 WOBA, and a 138 WRC+. He thrives against fastballs, slugging over .550 against heaters this year, which makes his duel with Jarrett Cole especially fascinating. Tristan Casas has broken out as a dangerous left-handed bat, posting a .355 xWOBA and a 13% barrel rate, giving Boston legitimate middle-of-the-order thunder. Add in Masataka Yoshida's ability to get on base, .345 OBP, and Trevor Story's improved second-half performance, and Boston has enough weapons to make Cole work. The issue is depth. The back half of the lineup is far less reliable, and against a staff like New York's, that could be the deciding factor. Fenway Park's park factors make this game even more intriguing. Fenway is a hitter's haven, with short porches in left and right field and one of the highest doubles rates in baseball thanks to the Green Monster. Left-handed pull power plays extremely well here, which could mean a big night for Anthony Rizzo or Tristan Casas. However, October nights in Boston can be colder, and with winds blowing in, Fenway can play far more pitcher-friendly than it does in the summer. Weather will be a sneaky factor in handicapping the total. Looking at the betting markets, oddsmakers have the Yankees as slight road favorites, with New York around -125 on the moneyline and Boston at +105. The run line is Yankees -1.5 at +140, while the total sits at 8.5 runs, shaded slightly to the under. The narrative is clear. Cole is the best pitcher in this game, and New York's bullpen gives them the late-inning edge, but Boston's offense at Fenway is the great equalizer. Prop markets offer intriguing angles. Jarrett Cole's strikeout line is 7.5 kiloseconds, and while Boston is a league-average strikeout team at 22%, Cole's ability to elevate his game in October makes the over worth a look. Bello's strikeout line is 4.5 kiloseconds, and with the Yankees' whiff-prone lineup, the over has value at plus money. On the hitting side, Aaron Judge's total bases line at 1.5 -110 is appealing given his history of punishing Boston pitching. Rafael Devers to hit a home run, +400, also has value, given his track record against elite fastballs. As for same-game parlays, here are two approaches. A Yankees-focused build could be Cole 8+ strikeouts, Judge 2+ total bases, Yankees moneyline. That reflects the likely path to victory. Cole dominates, Judge delivers, and the bullpen closes it out. A Red Sox-focused build could be Devers Hr. Bello 5+ strikeouts, Red Sox plus 1.5 run line, which reflects Boston scratching out enough offense while Bello keeps them in the game. So where does that leave us? This is a rivalry that rarely disappoints in October, but the numbers lean toward New York. Cole is the best arm on the field, the Yankees' bullpen is far superior, and their power plays in any ballpark, even Fenway. Boston has the bats to make it interesting, and Devers could be the X factor, but the cracks in their pitching staff loom large against a Yankees team built for October. Prediction: Yankees 5, Red Sox 3. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more sharp analysis for every playoff game, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a pick. Drop your best bet for Team A vs Team B in the comments. I want to see where you're putting your money tonight. October baseball is all about legends being made. Let's cash some tickets while we enjoy the ride.